So, okay, I will propose this final question to each of you. What would you consider to be your ideal game, or most anticipated game, rather, that could possibly come out
this year?
Look at him. He's thinking hard.
This year, or like...
Keep thinking.
What kind of... This year, or that was announced?
Okay, we can do both. We can do this year, and we can do, like, what your ideal video game would be. If you could make it yourself. Ooh, that's good. I will start with you, Cuz.
The game I'm looking forward to this year? Elden Ring.
Is what?
Elden Ring. The guys from Dark Souls.
That's an MMO, isn't it? No? Okay.
It's an RPG.
Right, a single player kind of thing?
Single player RPG.
It's kind of following the Dark Souls route.
But it's open world, which is going to be interesting to see.
You played a lot of Dark Souls.
Dark Souls is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
So is it more closely related to like a Skyrim?
No.
No? Okay.
Have you ever played Dark Souls?
I've played Dark Souls. I've never played Dark Souls, but I've seen people play Dark Souls. I just don't have any interest. Never had any real interest in playing it.
Special feeling you get when you're playing. Well, they call them Souls-like now, but Dark Souls started it. It's like this. Every time you fight something, you feel this sense of achievement because you got to like study the moves and get good while simultaneously building your character. So like the next run, the enemies usually they have
right, and then you die and go back to the beginning.
That's really the basis for. That's really the basis for almost every RPG, though.
No, not like Dark Souls.
Yeah, Dark Souls is a different animal. I will say, because when I played the game, I just got like frustrated.
Yeah.
I just got frustrated. I was like, nope.
You got to be patient. You got to analyze everything. It's straight up like my style of game. I love Dark Souls.
I like games to be kind of like challenging, but I don't like them to be hard.
Yeah, but it's fair. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... It is fair. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to die. And if you go in there too aggressive, you're going to die. Like, you have to understand what you're doing.
I mean, that's an assessment. Sure.
That's why I like it. It's brutally fair.
Okay.
Like, you know how some games you ramp up the difficulty, all of a sudden they have, like, a health bar that's ridiculous and they shoot you twice or whatever.
Right.
Dark Souls there is no... adjusting the difficulty.
I don't know. I do remember one situation where I like turned around a corner and I got shot with an arrow and just died.
Oh yeah. There is that. That's why you got to take your.
I didn't even see where the arrow come from.
You got to take your time with it. All the enemies spawn in the same spots.
That was my only like problem. Like Dark Souls, I think that's what it actually looks like. I mean, I was like, nah, I can't keep doing this. Can't keep doing this to myself. For me personally, I know it's not coming out, this year coming up. Honestly, I don't even know what is coming out, or supposed to come out this particular year. But I'm just waiting for the next iteration of the Mass Effect series.
Oh God!
I
realize it's going to be like 4 years off, and I realize I might be disappointed once again because I was super stoked about Andromeda, and then Andromeda sucked. But that's what I'm excited.
So this year, what is?
I don't know what's coming out this year. I haven't paid attention to anything.
Saints Row.
No, I'm not a Saints Row fan.
It's totally different now. They've changed the formula up.
Doesn't matter. Not a Saints Row
Well,
fan.
if it doesn't matter, then it's
more of like a Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, it's like Grand Theft Auto now.
Right. Doesn't mean I'm excited for it.
You didn't even know it was coming out this year.
Yeah, there you go. I can't be excited for something you don't even know is coming out.
Did I get you hyped, bro?
No.
What about Starfield? That's coming out.
Is that going to come out this year? That's
November.
So what's Starfield?
Okay, well, that's the other thing.
Is that like
they say it's going to come out in November, but it's going to get delayed.
No, they have an exact date when it's coming out.
You can have exact dates all you want, but most games, especially from AAA companies, are just garbage when they come out because they didn't.
Fallout 4 came out like 2 months afterwards.
Yeah. Do you remember all the updates had to do that?
The games, generally speaking, aren't
Bethesda
finished.
games are bugged anyway.
Bethesda needs a new engine.
Yeah, that's the problem. That fucking engine is...
It's old. They're just trying to, like...
Polish a turd.
They're trying to keep polishing it. They really need to start using a new engine. Yeah. I mean, it can be based upon the same engine, but it needs huge updates.
I wonder if that's why Elder Scrolls, we haven't seen anything from that, because they're...
Actually working on a new engine?
Actually working on a new engine for the new Elder Scrolls.
I mean, it has been over 10 years.
And the only thing we got was like a cinematic, like, bird's eye view. I mean, I would... And Microsoft just bought them, so now they got infinite amount of money, basically.
I
don't know about infinite, but I mean...
to make it...
Microsoft owns Bethesda, right?
Right.
And they just bought Blizzard, and they're buying everything. They own video games.
In like 3 years, it'll be like, Microsoft just bought Sony.
So, Sony's...
Phil Spencer will be like this.
and then the day after that, Microsoft buys Steam.
Yeah.
Valve.
Yeah, Valve.
Microsoft buys Valve.
I think, let's...
Bill Gates is the gaming overlord.
I think that's a problem because in a lot of ways Sony has kept Microsoft honest. Especially remember when Xbox One and PlayStation 4 were coming out, and Microsoft had all these bonkers ideas.
Oh yeah, with the whole like watching movie.
Well, no, I mean, okay.
You remember that?
I remember that, but at the same point in time, I was like, I didn't like the fact that they made you buy Connect with the original, One X or whatever the fuck.
And the always online thing. Even though they've been secretly doing that lately, because
I mean, as far as the always online thing, guess what? As long as the only issue I have with that is if the power goes out, you don't have connectivity to the internet. Because I'm always online anyway if I'm playing a game. You're always online if you're playing a game. You're always online if you're playing a game.
But
that's not the way it was back then.
You shouldn't have to be online to play a single player game.
Right. And that's kind of, the only problem that I said that I had with
the Sinister Act. They're doing that now, if you notice it. Like, if your internet goes out, I've tried to play single player games, and as of like the last couple years.
Well, no. Those will be Game Pass games, I assume.
No, purchase games.
Purchase games.
Well, you don't own the game.
What do you mean you don't own the game?
You don't own.
If you purchase the game, you own the game.
You don't own. No,
but you're not purchasing the game.
You don't even.
You're downloading the game.
I don't think you understand how games work.
You don't. You don't even own your cell phone. You do not own that.
No, I do.
You want to say you do, but you do not own that cell phone. You are renting. You pretty much bought the rights to use the cell phone, but you do not own the cell phone.
It's called a terms of service.
Right. You don't own a lot of things. You don't own any game that you bought. You don't actually own those games. You probably don't even own your Xbox.
You know the property tax you pay? You don't even own this house, bro. Sad enough, the banking system or somebody come in and take your shit.
I can tell you right now that is incorrect.
They can come in and take the shit if you don't pay fucking property.
That's like
the government can, but I mean, guess what? Pay your fucking property tax.
Even they have their limits because that's like an over.
You don't own anything, is what we're talking.
That's like an over my dead body type thing. If you want to come take my house,
and they probably would.
I mean,
they try.
Throw you on the ground and drag.
Anyway, Jesus Christ! Fucking want to turn this into fucking goddamn some sort of debate about fucking dumb shit.
Not owning anything.
Yeah.
It started with the terms of service, which you were denying because you don't want to see that you don't own the video games that you're paying $60 over. That's why the SNES is great.
But what I'm saying is you can purchase a game and you can play it offline.
Some you can, but
as long as it's not an online game.
Single player games nowadays have a terms of service, so there's always updates and stuff. You cannot play certain games.
I have not experienced this yet.
I'm telling you there is. Okay. It's not up for debate. That's how it is.
If you say so.
All right.
I like I said, I haven't seen this yet.
Okay.
I haven't had that problem. At some point. Well, yeah, maybe. Then I'll be like, you know what? I was wrong.
Well,
So I do.
Here's the way I kind of see something like that. Like, if you go to the store and you buy a piece of wood and you build something with that wood. No, just hear me out.
Okay.
If you build something with that wood, right, and you can resell it. You can sell something that you made with that piece of wood.
Right.
Now, if I bought a game and I decided that I wanted to remold the game, but use the things in the game and remold it, and I cannot resell that.
What's the point?
The point is that that's their code. That's their digital information that you are using, but you are not allowed to resell. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that's a horrible description.
I mean, maybe it is a horrible. Maybe you guys could come up with a better one, but you understand where I'm trying to go with it.
You probably made him more confused.
No. What I was going to say is basically you're saying you're using their code to. You're basically talking about mods, almost.
Almost right.
Almost. What do you mean more confused?
Well, what does the mods have to do with terms of service?
Because you can't.
Because you're
sell
using
the
their
mods.
code to.
But you're not modifying it. The whole conversation had nothing to do with mods. That's what I'm talking about.
But a lot of people with that have the knowledge of game creation and stuff like that, they could take that code that you bought. Say you bought the game, you completely own it without any terms of service. Say they bought Skyrim, right? They bought the game, and they could modify it and change it, but they're still using that game developer's code, so they can't resell it.
Are you getting into the Grand Theft Auto mods here? Because that was.
I mean, I wasn't going that direction. I mean, that could be taken for every single game.
But they are selling these mods, though. That's the thing.
Right, but it's illegal.
Yeah.
It's not illegal on Skyrim.
No, because they're making.
You can
money
sell
off of
mods
it now.
on Bethesda games, Skyrim and Fallout.
Do you know? So for those mods,
I mean, Bethesda, I'm sure it gets a percentage, but
oh no, it's worse than that. The creators get a one-time payment for those mods, and after that, Bethesda gets all the revenue.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I've watched the dude talk about it.
Watch one dude talk about it.
Why are you trying to angle? Look it up then. If I'm wrong, look it up. He always tries to correct me. If I have, fact check me. Like I said, I enjoy people fact checking me, but don't tell me I'm wrong.
We'll get into that, but let's close this out.
Okay.
If you could make any video game, what would it be?
Remember Manhunt?
Yeah.
No.
It was just a murder cycle.
It was very.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you could make any video game, what would it be?
I would like to make a game kind of in the style of like a Mass Effect, except I have like a complete own story of my own kind of thing that I would like to apply to it.
What if you could do
Okay.
anything, everything, and all your choices had like consequences? Like if you picked up the beans off the table.
But the amount of story writing that you
That's what I'm
have to
saying.
yeah.
Like it's not there, and it would take
Right.
a long time. But if you
Right.
could create any game, that's the kind of game I'd make. Like anything you did would have consequences, like real life. You know what I mean? And say it was like an apocalyptic scenario.
Me personally, mine would be kind of a combination of Grand Theft Auto and Mass Effect storytelling style,
Right.
with decision and everything mattering.
So like Trevor in space.
No. It wouldn't even be in space. It'd be Earthbound.
I honestly don't care about the decision-making parts in the games. It's more about, is the story good or is the story not
Right.
good?
That's what I'm saying. Better storytelling.
Right.
So I mean, I think personally, Mass Effect had some of the best storytelling. On top of that, the music, when they threw it in there, was
I think the balance of it is good too, because you can have
The
too
original
much
story.
story and then you can have not enough story. Yeah.
I like how Bethesda does like storytelling through like the atmosphere too. Like I think that was a good way to do it. Like you walk into a place and all of a sudden there's a skeleton over in the corner. You know what I mean? And then there's like books over here and they're all shoveled about, and then there's a bloody handprint, and as you're looking at the atmosphere, you can kind of put the pieces together like a detective.
Right.
Just randomly. But it's like the extra little bit of coding, I guess. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fair enough. Well, there we go. Episode 11 of the Bangcast. Talked about video games, the state of video games we play, video games we would like to make. A lot of shit about video games.
All things video games.
All things video games. There you go. You heard it here first. If you enjoyed this bit of content, remember to like, share,
subscribe.
Hit that bell button.
I'm glad you got it right that time.
Like.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm, of course, Gregor Guy, joined here by Mr. Casey and Mr. Cuz. Thank you for watching today.